Hey guys, welcome to a new video. We've got the lovely Chris here from the UK.
Hello.
And he is going to talk about his journey towards health. I'll obviously pass it over to him, but he had Crohn's disease for 7 years, and it's a pretty remarkable story. Just like so many other people that have regained their health, obviously going plant-based, going vegan, and I'm sure he's going to share that with you. But as again, you can see how people are changing their lifestyles through a more plant-based diet. So he's given up all animal products, which is interesting because if you needed protein, if you needed this, if you needed that, he should still be sick. So how doctors say that diet has nothing to do with it. Well, diet has everything to do with it, and if diet didn't have anything to do with it, he should still have Crohn's disease, even changing to a vegan lifestyle. So I'm going to hand it over to Chris now, and he's going to share his journey with us. And yeah, I'm going to do a bit of a Q&A with him. So go for it, Chris.
Okay, so I'm Chris from England, and I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease in 2010 of the small bowel. And I was like, okay, like it's pretty serious, but I trust the NHS. They'll sort me out. Like I'll be out in no time. I'll be fine. And then it was a sort of 7-year roller coaster of taking the first taking anti-inflammatory medications, which I'm sure if any of you watching probably have Crohn's or colitis or know someone who has, then you know that that's the first step, and then you move on to maybe some low-dose steroids, and moving on to immunosuppressant pills, and then immunosuppressant injections, and then after that surgery is the final stage. And it seems wrong that that should be the case.
Well, I think you're left with no choice with when you go down the medicine route, right? Because the doctors, they diagnose you and they're like, yeah, well, you're going to have to take medicine for life now, and so you're kind of stuck and you don't know what to do. And I think me and Chris and so many other people are kind of giving you inspiration to change your lifestyle so that you don't have to be on medication for life, because no one wants to be on medication for life. And I think Chris has managed to do that for himself, and I think it was a bit of a journey. So do you want to basically say how hard your life was before, and what's come about changing?
So after being diagnosed, I was put on medications, and I'd always have a sort of what I used to call a honeymoon period with the drug, where maybe 3 to 6 months everything would feel sort of okay. I'd always have a bit of a niggling, like something was niggling that everything wasn't quite right, but things generally felt okay. And then I would have the symptoms come back. I'd have cramps, have pain, indigestion. I'd be at the worst points, I'd be just a passenger in a car and just going over little bumps. I'd be like doubled over in pain. And I know that a lot of people still suffer with this. I would have a honeymoon period, which I now realise is just the body being thrown out of balance. It's not being allowed to heal. The inflammation is a sign of healing, and that was being suppressed. Then the inflammation would come back, and I'd be put on another drug, and it'd just be an up and down roller coaster. And that's what 7 years from when I was 16 being diagnosed to 23. That's what my life was like. And managed to get through school, through exams. I didn't do my best, but yeah, I just sort of got through it.
And you were eating the normal diet?
Yeah, diet was fairly average, I'd say. Maybe I probably had quite a lot of processed foods. I was having dairy regularly, a lot of cheese, a lot of chicken, a lot of fish. I didn't really do red meat, but what I was doing with the animal products, processed foods, was enough to put me in that place. Yeah. And when I was diagnosed, the doctor said it's nothing to do with diet. Like we're going to give you these drugs, and I was told that by multiple doctors and nurses. I would always say, is there anything else I can do, because this doesn't seem to be quite right.
Yeah.
And they would say, it's nothing to do with diet, you have to do this, take these drugs, go home, and then come back if you need some more help.
Does make sense, does it? Yeah.
It was a vicious cycle of doing the same thing, and anyone out there who has Crohn's or colitis and hasn't come to the more natural ways of healing, they know that, they feel it inside, and everyone knows who's in a state of disease, who's got digestive disease, they know that something isn't right, and they know that there's something else out there.
So when you started to kind of research about Crohn's and something other than medication, we call it an alternative, but it's actually the best way and the true way to kind of heal the body. And so when you were doing your research, obviously you came across us. We obviously met in Thailand last year. He was obviously on holiday, and he came over, and we had a good chat. And so what led you up to that? Like, what you wanted to change, right?
Yeah, I mean, I saw people online. I saw Dr. David Klein's website. I saw the testimonials, and when you're in a desperate place where you're diseased, you can't really get on with your life properly. You see these things, and you're like, I've got to give it a shot. Like, I don't know, but it sounds like the logical thing to do. It sounds more logical than medication, and it's worth a shot. Like, I looked into a few different alternative healing methods. I tried things like Reiki, tried a couple of other things as well, but not really the profound effect that I was looking for. And it took me, probably from initially researching, it took me about a year or so to decide, I have to be vegan, I have to eliminate animal products because they're not serving me. There's no fibre, they're acid forming in the body, they cause heartburn, indigestion, gut problems. It doesn't seem like it's a natural thing. Like, I gave up dairy for a few weeks, and then I drank some milk again. It felt horrible. It felt it just felt so horrible going down. And the only reason why I think I liked it is because I had it from such a young age.
You get used to it.
I wasn't breastfed. I was brought up on dairy milk, and that's the reason. Like, you have to trust your intuition to a certain extent, but you also have to reset your body to find what's natural and what's right.
Cool. So you did start working with us, and what I want you to explain to the audience is the detox process, because this is a process that a lot of people don't understand, for one, and it is a tough thing to go through, and share your experience with the audience, I guess.
Yeah, so I mean, the first I heard of detoxing to get better was through David Klein's book. I bought that as soon as I knew about it, and bought it from Amazon and read it cover to cover. And it seemed a little bit scary, and it was introducing new things I wasn't used to. I'd never heard that the body is self-healing, and I never heard that you have to get worse before you get better. They were two big things to wrap my head around, and I think that's why it took me a whole year from getting that book to starting with you guys. Because I had to get in the right headspace where I believed that the body could self-heal, which it can, because we're both here, and I had to believe that you had to get worse before you get better, and be comfortable with that.
Yeah, I guess preparing yourself for some kind of change is always going to be hard, but again, when you're at the end of the tunnel, when you see that light, it's just magic. And so, what did you go through? I mean, a lot of people go through hell and back, you'd say, but what were some of the things that you went through? Like, so just maybe talk about, what happened during that phase of detox. So whether you got fever, whether you had to go to the bathroom lots, or what was your detox like? And just be aware he had Crohn's disease, so it's going to be a little bit different to ulcerative colitis. Same sort of effect with diet, but different symptoms. So.
Yeah, well, I just want to say that the main reason why I got support from you guys, and you especially, because you've self-healed colitis, is because I already knew everything about diet. I'd read the book cover to cover. I knew the vegan healing diet. I understood it. I respected it. I believed in it. And but I was nervous because I was